So what if I told you there's this one single belief, and it's something most of us don't even know we have, that pretty much decides everything?
Everything from whether you succeed.
To how you handle failure and, whether you actually enjoy the ride.
Yeah, that's the profound idea at the heart of our deep dive today. We're pulling from the pivotal work on mindsets Carolus Dweck's book, the 2017 edition.
And Dweck isn't just anyone. She's a leading professor of psychology at Stanford.
Right. And she didn't just write this on a whim. Her own students, they basically begged her to write it so that people could use this work to, make their lives better.
Which is why it's so powerful. It's grounded in a real-world need. Okay, so let's unpack this. Our mission today is to really get into the differences between these two mindsets, fixed and growth.
And show you how just recognizing them can, fundamentally change how you think about potential, about effort, about everything, really.
It's kind of like upgrading the operating system for your brain.
A perfect way to put it. To start, we have to define the fixed mindset. The core belief is, it's rigid. It's the idea that qualities like intelligence or talent are just static things.
You have what you have, and that's it.
Exactly. The book puts it plainly. You have a certain amount of intelligence, and you can't really do much to change it.
And if you believe your qualities are fixed, well, what's your main concern? It becomes judgment.
Always. You're constantly trying to prove you're smart, prove you're worthy.
Which means you avoid mistakes like the plague. Because a mistake isn't just a mistake.
It's a permanent indictment of who you are. It's proof that you're not smart enough.
Right. Success has to look easy. It has to be perfect right now.
The contrast with a growth mindset, or GM, is just. It's night and day. A growth mindset is built on the belief that your basic qualities can be developed.
Through things like dedication, effort, experience.
Exactly. Someone with a GM genuinely believes you can always substantially change how intelligent you are.
So the focus shifts entirely. It's not about proving yourself anymore.
No, it's about improving yourself. It's about stretching and learning.
They believe true potential is sort of unknown, unknowable even.
That's the key. It's unknowable. It can only be achieved through, and I'm quoting here, years of passion, toil, and training.
Which is really just the psychological side of neuroplasticity, isn't it? The idea that our brains can literally change.
It is. But what's really fascinating here, and what most people don't know, is the history of how we came to think about fixed ability in the first place.
You're talking about the IQ test.
I am. Get this. The inventor of the IQ test, a guy named Alfred Binet, was actually a huge champion of the growth mindset.
Wait, what? The guy who invented the tool we use to measure a fixed number for intelligence? He didn't believe it was fixed.
It's a huge irony. He designed the test simply to identify children who were struggling in Parisian schools.
So he could help them.
Exactly. So new educational programs can be designed to help them grow. He actively protested what he called the brutal pessimism of thinking intelligence was fixed.
Wow. So a tool designed for growth was basically hijacked to label kids with limits. That just shows how deep this fixed mindset runs in our culture.
It's everywhere. And Dweck's work is constantly pushing back on this myth of the natural genius.
Yeah, we love those stories, don't we? Effortless success. But it's almost never true.
Look at Darwin or Tolstoy. They were considered pretty ordinary kids.
Or Ben Hogan, the golfer, one of the greatest of all time. But as a kid, he was apparently really uncoordinated and graceless.
He had to grind for years to perfect his swing. It wasn't natural.
And Cindy Sherman, the photographer, she actually failed her first photography course.
Right. Her mastery wasn't some innate gift. It was developed slowly through years and years of work. Their potential wasn't obvious from the start. It was grown.
That idea that effort is always part of the equation, that takes us right to our next point, how these two mindsets see effort itself.
This is a huge one. For the fixed mindset, needing to put in effort is almost shameful.
It's seen as a sign of deficiency. If you were a real genius, you wouldn't have to try. Needing to struggle. It casts a shadow on your ability.
Dweck mentions this young professor who thought his colleagues working late must just not be as smart as him.
Because if they were, it would all come easily. Just unbelievable.
Whereas with a growth mindset, effort is the hero of the story. It's what ignites that ability and turns it into accomplishment.
They actually admire the effort. They see the process, not just the result.
And that perspective completely changes how you respond to setbacks. For the fixed mindset, there's this talent trap that can lead people to just stop learning.
To protect the image of being a natural.
Yes. The book gives this stunning example of students in Hong Kong. They needed to improve their English for college, but they chose not to take an improvement course
Why on earth not?
because they didn't want to expose their deficiencies. They'd rather risk their entire college career than look incompetent for a short time.
That is just staggering. To value feeling smart over actually being successful?
And in extreme cases, that pressure can become incredibly destructive.
You mean when your whole self-worth is tied to being perfect?
Exactly. Think about Bernard Louisseau, the famous French chef. He committed suicide after his restaurant lost 2 points in a guide.
Or reporters like Janet Cook and Stephen Glass, who just started making things up.
They were all talented people who got trapped. They were so desperate to maintain that image of perfection that admitting a mistake felt like total annihilation.
And a growth mindset acts as a buffer against that kind of pressure.
It's the ultimate source of resilience. There's a study on students dealing with depression. The GM students, even when they felt miserable, actually became more determined.
So the worse they felt, the more they did.
The more action they took. They focused on the process of coping, of keeping up with their work. It's
And that
incredible.
applies outside of school, too, right? I'm thinking of the Christopher Reeve story.
Oh, absolutely. After his accident, the medical consensus was fixed. Spinal cord injuries were permanent. Done. His doctors even saw his intense exercise regimen as a form of denial.
But his mindset wouldn't let him accept that fixed reality.
Not at all. He approached his rehabilitation like a science experiment. He was focused on the process of learning to fire those dormant nerves.
And he ended up regaining some movement.
He did. And in doing so, he literally changed the entire way science thinks about the nervous system and its potential for recovery. His mindset forced science to grow.
That ability to challenge limits has huge implications for, well, for everything. Let's talk about leadership and even our relationships.
Yes. In the business world, the difference is stark. FM leaders often run on a genius with 1,000 helpers model. You have these huge egos.
It's all about them, about their reputation for personal greatness.
And they don't mentor anyone. They punish disagreement. Their mind is always on one thing: validate me.
And the company often falls apart after they leave because it was all built around them.
Exactly. But GM leaders see the company as an engine of growth for everyone.
Like Jack Welch.
He's a great example. After a massive corporate disaster, instead of hiding it, he used it as a learning moment.
What did he learn?
He realized true self-confidence isn't about being right all the time. It's the courage to be open to welcome change and new ideas, regardless of their source. That humility is key.
Okay, so that's the boardroom. What about the living room? How does this play out in our personal relationships?
Oh, this is a big one. The fixed mindset sets you up for so much pain and love.
Because you're looking for that instant, perfect, and perpetual compatibility.
Yes. You believe that if you have to work at it, it just wasn't meant to be.
So when a problem comes up, and they always do,
You see it as a permanent character flaw in your partner. You stop trying to solve the problem and start blaming the person, which leads to anger, to contempt.
because if the trait is fixed, there's nothing you can do.
Right. But the growth mindset in love understands that a good relationship comes from effort, from working through your differences.
The experts all agree, right, that one of the most destructive beliefs you can have is thinking, if we have to work at this, something is wrong.
It's the opposite. The work is the relationship. The effort is the commitment.
And the best part of all of this, the really good news, is that these mindsets aren't permanent. They're just beliefs.
And beliefs can be changed. Dweck lays out a clear 4-step path to do it.
And the first step is kind of counterintuitive, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
Step 1 is embrace your fixed mindset. Acknowledge it. We're all a mixture of both, and we have to accept that judgmental, reactive part of ourselves.
Okay, so after you accept it, you have to spot its triggers. That's step 2.
You have to notice when it shows up. Is it when you get criticism? When you face a big challenge? That's when you can move to step 3.
Which is my favorite part. You give that voice a name.
You do. You call it Gertrude or Dale Denton or whatever. You externalize it so you can observe it. You see how it tries to protect you by creating chaos.
And once you can see it as separate from you, you can educate it. You can say, hey, Gertrude, thanks for trying to keep me safe, but I'm choosing the growth path today.
That is the whole mechanism. You learn to separate that judging voice from your choosing voice. The fixed mindset monologue is all about judgment. I failed, so I'm a loser.
But the growth mindset monologue is about development. Okay, what can I learn here? How can I improve? You realize you're in charge of your own mind.
It's a fundamental shift.
And as we wrap up, let's leave everyone with one final thought. There's this story of a world-class swimmer who was just destroying their own confidence by trying to be perfect on every stroke.
But when they shifted their focus from being perfect to just learning and improving,
Hmm.
everything changed. Suddenly, defects weren't failures.
They were just things I can work on.
And that's the whole point. When you hit a wall, when you feel awful, the growth mindset reminds you that the plan is still the plan. The effort is still worthwhile. You're not defined by the failure. You're determined to learn from it.
And since this deep dive is all about growing together, we'd like to ask you to help our community grow too. If this sparked an aha moment for you, please take a second to subscribe to the channel.
We'd be so grateful if you'd also hit that like button and maybe share this deep dive with a friend who you think needs to hear that their potential is truly, truly limitless.
Thank you for diving deep with us.